Hello fellow woodworkers and welcome to this week's edition of the Garage Workshop and a 10-minute tool review with a difference. We're going to be visiting an old enemy and also reviewing this Wen chisel set. Roll the intro. So fellow woodworkers, for this week's video we're going to be visiting the scene of the crime where I had two failed attempts on my Parkside lathe. I'll put a link to both of those videos in the description for this video, but having recently watched Rob's video, Weekend Shedhead, which I mentioned in my July blog, and again I'll put a link in the description of this video, it's inspired me to go back and try another project on the Parkside lathe. But before I do that, one of the most important comments I got, or one of the most frequent comments on both my videos, was about the chisels that I was using. Quite a few people said those Parkside chisels that you get free with the lathe are absolute rubbish. It didn't help that I wasn't holding them properly, but a lot of people commented on it. And if you're watching this video in the United Kingdom, this probably won't make as much sense to you as it will if you're working or living in the US and watching this video. In Home Depot, and again I would put a link to this product, but I can't do that because unless you're behind a VPN you can't see Home Depot's site from the UK. But Home Depot sell a range of different tools by the company Wen. And when my good lady wife was recently in the US, she came back with this present for me. It is the Wen 6-piece chisel set. The model number is CH11. Now I will check what the current price is of this. I think I got it about 3 months ago and I think it was about $60. I'll put the price up on the screen. I'll have a look on Home Depot site and see where it is. If you are watching this video in the States and you've got this set of chisels or you've used them, then please do let me know in the comments. So what I'm going to do, get this set out, do a little bit of a review of what I think of them, and then we're going to put them in practice and actually go back to the lathe. So not a lot of complicated opening this time, just a couple of bits. I think there's actually like a carry case in here or some sort of case. This isn't the actual thing. Oh, looks wooden. You obviously never see the cases when you look online. Just check there's nothing in the box. No. So it's in what looks like a box, a wooden box. Hopefully the quality of the box is not an indicator of the rest of it. And as you can see there, the actual case is smashed, but I think that's more a case of it being carried across the Atlantic in a suitcase than anything else. Two latches on it, and obviously the logo this side, so I'm presuming that's the correct way to open it up. Let's have a look at what's on the inside. If I can get the clips undone. Okay, wow, they do look particularly nice. So that is the set of the chisels that are in there. As I said, there are 7 of them. And straight away I can tell you the difference between these and the ones from Parkside. Everyone who commented saying those chisels are rubbish, I see what you mean. These are beautifully crafted, really lovely, lovely handles on them, really nice thick blade. That's actually quite sharp, that blade. Really nice quality handles and blades on them. Now it may be that all sets are like this, but it's the first sort of proper set of chisels I've had. I mean, the box they're in does leave a lot to be desired, but at least you get one. Okay, so as I said, it's a 6-piece set. I've managed to get onto the Home Depot site now, so I can actually give you a bit more information about them. the set is not the cheapest one that you can buy. I should have pointed that out earlier. They sell sets on Home Depot in the US for like $30. This one, I did check, it's now $69.99, but I checked and it was $60 when I bought it, and I thought it was about 3 months ago, but I think it was actually in March, so a little bit longer than that. So each of them has got a, every measurement I'm going to give you is in inches. They've all got a 10-inch English beechwood handle, and all of the metal, all the shafts are all made with steel. So there's one, and apologies if you're a lathe expert, I'm going to murder the names or not pronounce them properly. There's one roughing gouge, I think is how you say that. There are two spindle gouges. The first one is 1/2 inch, and the second one is 3/8 of an inch. So two spindle gouges. There is a 3/4 inch oval skew, which is, I don't know if it's meant to be, let me know in the comments. It's really sharp on the end. It's probably meant to be, but easily cut your finger on that. Then we've got a round nose scraper. This one I do know because this is the one that was in the Parkside set along with the gouger, although the difference between the Parkside gouger and this one is night and day. And last but not least, we've got a parting tool, which again, I do know what that one is, very similar to the one that's in the Parkside set. So with all of that done, I have made a little block of mixed wood, which you'll have just seen me. I stuck it together. It's been drying for a day now, so this is going to be the piece of wood that I am going to use on the lathe. So we're going to get the lathe set up, and we'll give the tools a little bit of a run through, and I'll give you my honest opinion. So fellow woodworkers, I've got the block lined up. I've tried my best to get the guide as close as I can to it, but I have to be honest, one of the limitations of this lathe is the fact that nothing really tightens very well. I know, I think in Rob's video he used a pair of pliers to tighten it up, but I've got the block there, and I'm going to start with the roughing gouge to take the edges off, and then we'll move on to some of the other tools. I've got a full head helmet and face mask to wear because one of the things that was mentioned in the last video was that I wasn't wearing enough safety equipment. So I've done all that. I'll try my best to film it as well as I can, but let's just get going. Oh, I'm going to start the I'm going to start the lathe at 1600 when 2200 is the highest number. So let's see if we can knock those edges off. Fingers crossed it goes okay. There is a mixture of sort of softer and harder wood in here, so with a bit of luck, all should go well. Fingers crossed. Let's get going. I just thought I'd interrupt because it hasn't come out very clearly just how many times you can see the lathe stopping. I'll talk about this in a minute, but it did stop quite a lot. So, as you can see, we've got quite a lot of the material taken off. The gouging tool has been really good. That little bit at the end still needs to be done, so I've just moved the block down a bit. When I've got that bit off, then we'll just try and take a little bit more off in one go. So, hopefully you can see how much that has taken off. At this end, can you see it's almost a complete circle? And you can see from the marks along the edge, it's really taken the material back. Obviously this bit hasn't because it was out of the rest. So I'm going to move and knock that bit off now and see if I can get it a little bit more circular. But so far so good with that tool, really impressed. One of the other key things is just about how comfortable these tools are, these chisels are to use. I don't really mention it at the end, which looking back I should have done, but they are very comfortable and sort of moulded to the shape of your hand, which makes it easy to apply a great deal of pressure, but also to sort of change your grip as and when you're using it, which is a big bonus. Hopefully now you can see that is almost pretty circular. There's a couple of flat points on it and you can see the line. So I'm just going to switch tools now, and I'm going to go to one of the spindle gouges and just put some individual marks in it. Let's see how that one goes. It was nice to have two different thicknesses of spindle gouge as well. I realise now why there's two in the set. It is handy to have a bigger and a smaller one. So hopefully you can see some of the marks that I put in with the spindle gouge. Now I'm not going to use the skew tool because obviously I think you need to be a bit more experienced before you do that, and I could take some proper time to sort of level it off, but to be fair it's pretty much level now. So I'm just going to try out the parting tool and just see how that goes on it. And then I pretty much think we're done, because the only other tool I've got really I wouldn't use for this type of work, and like I said, I'm not going to use the school tool. So let's give the parting tool a go. The parting chisel was really affected by the speed of the lathe at this point. It was a struggle. Oh. So fellow woodworkers, you've just seen me use the lathe much more successfully than my other two attempts, and although this piece of wood is not perfect, it's pretty circular compared to what it was when I tried to do this before. And the tools, these set of Wen chisels, I've got nothing to compare them to, so I can't say, oh, they're better than this make or they're better than that make, but the quality of these chisels for the money is really good. I mean, I can only imagine what like a £400 or £500 set must be like, because they feel really sturdy. They're really comfortable in your hands, and obviously all of the metal on them is very thick. They're not thin like the Parkside ones that you get for free, but super impressed. But the other thing is, I've sort of reached the point where the tools are better than the lathe. You'll have seen a lot of times the wood came to a sort of standstill, and the reason is the lathe is just not powerful enough probably to do the sort of project I'm doing. This is a very hobby-based lathe, and the reason that I bought it, and I think a lot of you that are buying this product, you're buying it to just use it until you kill it probably, and also to decide if you want to invest or upgrade to a much more expensive lathe, because lathes, or the even entry-level ones, can be quite expensive. So it's not really a testament to the lathe too much, because obviously these tools would hold their own on a really big expensive lathe. So it's a massive thumbs up to me for the tools. Just one little thing though that I will say, although they're really nice quality, they feel really good. Obviously in a set this size, there's only 6 of them, you're not going to get every single chisel that you need, and I think it's a big omission that the bowl gouging chisel is not included. When you look at a lot of other comparable sets that are around the same sort of price as this, they do contain a bowl gouge, which a lot of lathers, from what I've seen, and trust me, I've watched millions of videos, a lot of them say it's their sort of go-to tool, and there isn't one in here. So that's one disadvantage. You might also be saying, what is the point of this video if you can only buy them in Home Depot? And obviously this is a UK-based video, though I know I've got a lot of people watching from the States. Well, it is possible to get things from the US, and I mentioned in a video about a year ago now, you can buy products from the United States. There are companies, the one I use is called Ship It To. There are companies where they give you an American address, You ship it there, it goes straight to a warehouse, they then send it on to you. You have to pay tax and import duty on it, but it's the United Kingdom, you pay tax and everything. But you can get sets like this, and you just need to weigh up whether a $69 set with all the associated delivery and fees and things is going to be worth buying. Personally, if I hadn't bought this in the US or had somebody going there to buy it, I would have bought it on the ship it to route, because the key to using a lathe is A, making sure you're doing it safely, but B, is having the right tools for the job. I think I've got the right tools now, not necessarily the right lathe, but all the small projects I want to do on the Parkside lathe, I can do with these tools. So really, really pleased with them. Again, if you've got a good set or a set like this, please let me know in the comments. And if you are a wood lathe worker or a turner, wood turner, please don't go too mad at me in the comments about what I've done. I think I've done this very safely. It felt very in control all the way through, and hopefully I will be able to get plenty of use out of these when chisels in the future. That's the end of this week's video. If this is your first time at the Garage Workshop, please can I ask you to subscribe, like and comment. If you're a regular viewer or subscriber, please don't forget to like and comment. I'm waiting to get some great feedback in the comments from all of you about A, what you thought of the Wen tools, and B, what you thought of my use of the lathe. Please be nice. I'll catch you on next week's edition of the Garage Workshop. Take care, fellow woodworkers.